Okay, good morning, friends. We are starting the project today. That is the whole reason we are in the boatyard. It is the bottom paint. Paint on the lower portion of the boat is also referred to as anti-fouling. And the reason is it's what protects you from all the things that grow on reefs and other structures in the ocean. Without that, our boat will become a reef underwater. So this paint has to be done, of course, when the boat's dry. As you can see, there's a lot of little dings and nicks and places where it's just sort of wore out. So it's time for us to get this sanded off and get some fresh paint on. Talk to you a little bit more about the paint we chose when we get closer to that stage. Now, time for some sanding. It's been a little slow going today, a lot of learning curve, and a lot of figuring out how to adapt to the heat and replacing some equipment. Started out the morning with shop vac that the previous owner had left for us. It's a great little shop vac. I'm sure it works awesome for cleaning stuff up inside the boat. Definitely was not made for what I was trying to use it for. So right tool, right job, right? So I got a new shop vac with a much longer hose and added an extension hose and a bag, so that should help collect some of the dust a little better, or contain the dust a little better, and switched to some real sanding pads. I was trying some of those mesh random orbital sander discs. They are not going well. So we are back on track. It is 7 o'clock at night, so the sun is not beating down quite as heavy. The humidity's dropped off a little bit. We're going to try and get a little bit more done. Okay, friends, let's take a quick minute to check in, talk about some of the lessons learned already. So as you can see, things are coming along. For those of you who are wondering why we have to do all this, I'm going to take a moment and talk a little bit about what bottom paint is and how it works. So in addition to having copper and other things in it that reduce the attractiveness of it as a growth area, this kind of paint is made to ablate. This means as you rub it, it'll wipe away. So if something like a barnacle builds a house on it and you go sailing, the idea is it'll knock it off with the pressure of the water. And that's great as long as you don't have a soft ablative, which is what we have right here, with a hard ablative on top of it. You end up with sections where it starts to peel and flake off, and then you're no longer protected. Now the problem with sanding that is it tends to become very gummy when you're sanding it, and it blocks up the paper. I've spent a lot of time this week talking to various people in the yard and gotten some really great tips. As you can see, we've gotten one side of the keel done and a good section of one side of the bow. Still a very long way to go to get this whole boat primed and ready for new bottom coat paint. So most recently, talking to one of the pros here in the yard, they recommended I step up from the 80 grit that I was using to a 40 grit. So we're going to try that today and see how it goes. They gave me a couple sheets of practice with yesterday and it seemed to go very well. Well, let's get to it. Hi friends, I just want to circle back and bring the sanding video to a close here. Start out by saying Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, especially to my dad. Happy Father's Day, Dad. And this clip is being filmed in real time. Today is actually Father's Day. But I do want to kind of close out the sanding video. Things have been moving along pretty good. Gotten it down to a pretty nice finish on this side here. We still have a few spots that we need attention. On the port side here, the starboard side I began, but the biggest issue now is the heat. It is consistently in the 90s, and wearing the big protection suit and the ventilator is just not working. The risk to my health is getting a little high, and I've learned the skill, but I've not mastered it. So we have talked to a couple of the pros that have been working in the yard, and they're going to finish out the sanding for us. With their equipment and their expertise, they think they can get it probably done in a day, which for me, it's going to be at least probably another week to get the other side of the boat. So that savings alone in yard fees is going to be huge. So we can get started on the painting about a week quicker than we were. So let's take a closer look. Okay, so you can see we've gotten pretty much all the way around. here on the port side. Trying to get back to that gray primer coat. Just sort of getting started on the starboard side. While working, we did come across some damage that's going to need to be sort of filled in, and some old repairs that have a few little issues that we're going to have to figure out how to address. It's another reason to hire in someone who does this professionally. They're going to get the 90% done so we can focus on the 10% that requires a little bit more time, like the little repair jobs, some of these little scratches, and getting it ready for the paint. So the quicker we can get in paint, quicker we can get in the water. Well, to all the dads out there, happy Father's Day. To everyone else, if you're having a great weekend, a great start of your summer. Next video, we're going to be looking at some upgrades to the electrical inside, some lighting and some additional fans, and a surprise project in the master cabin that I did for Amanda, as well as her reaction to it. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to leave a like, and if you are not a subscriber, please like and subscribe. Come join us on the journey. We love having you here. See you next time. Thank you.